Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and for joining me on another paint with me. I'm very excited about this one because it's actually a picture that an old high school friend posted on Instagram recently, and I asked her if I could paint this and she said yes. So thank you for letting me paint this. But it was such a wonderful photo of these ducks in a lake, and the lighting was just, oh, it was just perfect. So I couldn't let that get away from me without painting it. So that is what I'm going to be painting today, and I'm excited that I'm showing you my setup here. I have been really enjoying setting up my section here. It kind of gives me the time to wind down, clear the mind before I start a new project. I used to dread having to set up and clean up, but for some reason I've really been enjoying it and cherishing this part of the process. So I thought it'd be nice to show you a little more detailed setup, just to show you what I do every single time. But here I'm starting off by staining the canvas as I always do. This is an 8 by 10 inch canvas panel, and I'm working in water mixable oils, as some of you may have already guessed. And lately the new stain that I use that I've really been liking is a mixture of transparent red oxide with ultramarine blue. And that's what I'm doing here and blocking everything in. Something I've been trying to challenge myself to do is paint only the brushstrokes that I really need and kind of end up with this nice abstract unfinished painting, and it's been so hard to do that. I attempted it in this painting by just painting the ducks and then hoping that after I do that I can be very minimal about my brush strokes, about everything else surrounding the ducks. But I had a very hard time doing that. It's just such a habit to want to cover their entire canvas. Although I didn't achieve what I was trying to, I did feel that it helped. I felt a shift in my mindset when painting this way, and I can see how it could be very beneficial when focusing on what's truly important. The idea behind this challenge for me is not only to get the really nice unfinished painting that everybody loves, or at least I really like, but to also find what's truly important and focusing on that instead of focusing on the tiny little details that don't really add to the painting. It's really easy to get stuck in these areas that aren't as important and making the focus point seem a little less important. So I want to try and see if I can really define like what is the most important brushstroke that I can do in this area and see where that takes me. In case you noticed, I've been working with some new brushes here that I'm very, very excited about. These are brushes from Rosemary & Co. And I'm so happy that I finally got my hands on these wonderful brushes. They are so soft and so amazing. For a long time, I was using brushes from Michaels and just a few Princeton brushes. Those were literally the brushes that I used for pretty much 2 years to learn how to paint. So they were not well taken care of, and a lot of them were just not functional anymore. So I'm very excited that I decided to purchase these brushes because they have truly been so magical, and it's just a really happy moment for me because it makes me feel like I'm growing. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. At this point, I start really trying to create some depth in this water and making it seem like they're floating on water. And I thought it was going to be a little more difficult than it was, just also because it was green. I don't think I've ever painted green water. But I found it to be really fun. I just made it very playful, just rolling my brush around. I just had a really fun time, and I think this is the one part that I probably did a pretty good job on keeping it pretty abstract without trying to control too much. Another part of the painting where I feel like I also achieved that was in the bush, and I feel like the bush when you look up close it kind of falls apart. It's just a lot of random green brush strokes, but from afar I feel like it looks like a very big bush, and you can kind of see that the turtle is like half in the bush, half out, and I don't know why that part of the painting was my favorite, but I am pretty proud about it. We have reached the end of this painting session together. If you're interested in seeing longer videos and seeing how I do a full painting in real time, I have a Patreon page that you can check out if that's something you're interested in. I'll have the link down in my description box as always. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you here very soon.